Hey guys, it's Areesa. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are making a beautiful chocolate birthday cake covered in caramelized white chocolate ganache with some beautiful chocolate decorations on top. So it was my mom's birthday this past week and I decided to make her this beautiful chocolate cake. It's just a chocolate cake filled with Italian meringue buttercream, chocolate Italian meringue buttercream obviously, and then covered in a caramelized white chocolate ganache, which I'm going to show you how to make, and also some beautiful chocolate decorations that look really impressive, but they're actually really easy to make. So first things first, let's go ahead and stack up our cake. Now for this cake, I decided to go with a super sophisticated modern vibe. So I'm going to be using a ring mold to get super clean, sharp edges. This is just an 8-inch ring mold. And then I've got my chocolate Italian meringue buttercream here. I have a full video teaching you guys how to make it. I highly recommend it. It's absolutely delicious. I'll put it on the screen here as well as in the description below. And then I've got my chocolate cake here that I've sliced into really thin layers. And I'm going to put my first layer down and then brush over some chocolate simple syrup. It's just a classic simple syrup with a little bit of cocoa powder added into it. And then I'm going to just continue to stack up my cake, alternating layers of buttercream and cake. And when we get up to that final layer, you just want to make sure it is nice and smooth. Ideally, that buttercream would have gone all the way to the top of my ring mold, which makes it really easy to get a perfect smooth top. But I ran out of buttercream, so it's okay. It still worked out just the same. Now that cake needs to set up completely because we need to remove the ring mold. So I'm actually going to put it in the freezer for a couple of hours so it gets nice and firm. And while that's in there, we're going to go ahead and work on our chocolate decorations. So I'm starting off with some dark chocolate here. You want to either temper your chocolate or use compound, whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to go ahead and start on my beautiful chocolate curls that are going to sit on top of the cake. So I've got this strip of acetate here on top of some parchment paper. And I'm going to go ahead and smooth out some of that chocolate. And then using my cake scraper, I'm going to go ahead and create these beautiful even lines and carefully pick it up and place it into a cup. This is a narrow cup that is completely straight up and down, which is the perfect mold for our curls. Once that has had a chance to set for a couple minutes in the freezer, I'm just going to pull it out and gently unwrap it. And look at those beautiful shiny chocolate curls. They are absolutely gorgeous and sure to impress anyone you make this for. Those chocolate curls are probably one of my favorite decorations to make because they just look so beautiful and impressive. But now we're going to go ahead and make some super simple chocolate squares to go around the outside of the cake. So I've got my sheet of acetate once again, and I'm going to pour more of my chocolate on there and smooth it out. And I'm going to give it a little tap to get rid of any air bubbles. Once it has set up a little bit but is still soft, I'm going to go ahead and cut them into little squares. I decided to go with 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, but it's totally up to you. Do whatever you like. Now the last chocolate piece we are going to make before moving back to the cake is just the happy birthday. I've shown this before in a video, but I love to write out happy birthday with chocolate on acetate instead of directly on the cake, because that way if you make a mistake or you just want to do a couple tries, it's not a big deal. You're not going to ruin your cake. So I just like to print out happy birthday in a really pretty font. And then I'm going to fill a parchment cone with some of that leftover chocolate and then just trace over the letters. Now I typically just trace the uppercase letters to give me a starting point and then freehand the rest of it, but it depends on your preference and what font you're using. And now you just need to put that sheet into the fridge or freezer until you're ready to use it, and it'll pop right off of the acetate and you can place it on top of your cake. But anyways, the next thing we need to do is make our caramelized white chocolate ganache to go on top of the cake. So I used these Calibo Gold Calais. I used 12 ounces of the Calais and then 8 ounces of whipping cream. Then as usual, you guys know how to make ganache if you watch my channel. I brought that up to a simmer on the stove and then poured that over my Calais. You want to let that sit for a couple minutes and then very gently stir them. It's really important if you're pouring the ganache over the cake to stir very, very gently to avoid incorporating too many air bubbles. And look at how gorgeous this is, you guys. It looks absolutely beautiful. Now we're gonna move on to my favorite part of making cakes like this, and that is to unmold our cake and pour the beautiful ganache on top. So I'm just peeling off the parchment paper, and then you wanna lift that cake off of your surface. So I just used the ring of a mini springform pan, and then I'm using a kitchen torch here. You can use a hairdryer if you don't have one, and you just wanna slowly go all the way around that ring to warm it up just enough that it will slide right off. Then I'm taking my ganache, and you want to generously pour that on top. Make sure you go all the way around. This is so satisfying to watch. I absolutely love doing these kinds of cakes. And carefully move it to a cake board. Then we're gonna go ahead and place our chocolate decorations on top. So I'm starting with my chocolate squares, and I'm just gonna evenly space them apart all around the side of the cake. Then I'm gonna very carefully place my curls on top. These are pretty delicate, so be gentle with them. Now, for the happy birthday piece, I actually decided at the last second not to place it on the cake. I thought the cake looked really beautiful as like a simple, clean design. So I finished off the video, I took all my photos, and then the next day when I put the happy birthday piece on top, because it was my mom's birthday, I realized that the cake looks way, way better with the happy birthday on top. So I did a quick impromptu photo shoot for you guys, and this is what the finished cake looks like with that happy birthday piece on top. So there we go, guys. There is the finished birthday cake. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or what you want to see next, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.